Technology can be an amazing thing. It surrounds us entirely in everything we do and only has been broadening throughout the years. But with it comes many issues. The main issue that I'm going to be focusing on today is technology on the road. From cell phones to vehicles with dash screens, things have gotten quite out of hand, in my opinion. And unfortunately, many drivers need to learn that distraction can wait before something tragic happens. I'm going to start here with cell phones. These have been an issue since text messaging and mobile data has came out. If I'm correct here, in the 90s, I believe. Texting being the key concern. Drivers aren't waiting to send messages that people are just getting injured, or people's lives are being taken from people who just want to send text messages while they're driving rather than waiting until they come to a stop and being safe. It's sad, really, but I can't really do much about it. And another thing, applications on cell phones have become quite crazy also. Most of them are really programmed, like the games. Most of the games come out, people become addicted and they really just binge play these games for weeks on end, and then from this, the addiction for these games is real. Like, just hours people spend just looking at their cell phone playing games. I mean, I've done it myself, but I try not to. But it's just crazy. And it's just, people are doing it while driving. Some of these games, they require you to be on at a certain time, and if someone's driving or at work, they don't really care. They're just going to have to do it because that's just what they do, and under no circumstances these applications should be used while driving. And that really leads me to driver impatience. Drivers are just not being patient about anything. With texting, you can be patient, send the message when you come to a stop. Applications, be patient, play the game later, send the Snapchat later, do whatever you must do later. But it's a way of multitasking, I guess. But if you're that busy, maybe you should try hands-free messaging, but most of the time it can wait. GPS can be very convenient on cell phones while driving, but you should really get this all set up before you drive and not have to touch the phone at all while you're driving. Then it would be just fine, but people are setting up their GPS and trying to figure out where they're going while they're driving, which causes distraction, which causes accidents. And phone calls. People talking on the phone, whatever it may be, argument or anything really just distracts you from the road, and it's just another thing that shouldn't be done. If it is done, it should only be done hands-free through the car speaker system, to where you are still eyes on the road. You're not holding, have one of your hands up to your ear or anything. And the next thing, distractions, would be from vehicles themselves. Pictured here in the background, I have a 2019 Dodge Ram, and the screen is over 12 inches. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can see on the screen here that you can make phone calls, go to your music, go anything. It's basically, looks just like an iPhone on the screen. You could do any of that. And if you want to do anything climate related, you can see down here at the bottom, if you want to change anything, you have to go through all 5 or 6 settings, and it's just out of hand. It's just something that shouldn't be done while driving, and it's all touch, obviously. There is hands-free, but that only works to an extent. And the heads-up display as well. Things will pop up right where your speedometer is, making you look straight down, which could cause you to rear-end somebody. And it's kind of a little bit overboard. I see this safety of trying to get them to not look away, but it'd be better just to maybe, I'm not sure. I mean, that's up to them. But is this really necessary is the next question. I don't think so. This has kind of gotten out of hand. Like, the simplicity, the vehicles, I mean, they should be using technology to make them more safe and just reliable, and it just doesn't seem like it's that. I think it's just more about keeping up with the next hot thing and trying to make sales, and people aren't really thinking about safety when designing these vehicles. Now, law enforcement. It is the law in most states that texting and driving is illegal, or some states you can't even talk on the phone and drive. And as much as that really stinks to get a fine, people still stay on their phones, continue to go on them. And another thing is police technology. They also have tons of distractions inside of their vehicles, much more than we do. And the question is it too much, or they should really develop a safer method maybe and have compact everything or something. I'm not sure, but to me, as pictured above, there's just quite a bit of distraction there with driving, and police officers really need to be safe while driving so they can keep us safe. Now, corporate responsibility. It's come too far as disabling applications. Corporate has come to think about. With corporate responsibility, there are things they could do. People or companies could do, such as disabling applications and developing new and safer methods for their applications to be used while in the vehicle. And the corporations need just to put safety over sales and just make sure that their customers are going to be safe and causes the world to be safe. One time, actually, mentioned there was a 5-year-old girl. She was in a car riding with, I believe, a taxi, does some sort of service to get her a ride, and the person was using FaceTime while driving, and the family actually, or the little girl didn't make it, neither did the driver, and the family actually tried to file a lawsuit against Apple to disable FaceTime while driving, as I mentioned with disabling applications. To me, this can't really work completely, but you gotta feel for the family. Obviously, no one should ever be using FaceTime while driving. It's just unacceptable. But with mobile phones, they come with conveniences, and a safe thing would be Bluetooth. It makes it so you don't have to have the phone in your hand, and some vehicles actually do come with hands-free, so you can just speak through the car's audio system. There's phone mounts for your GPS so that you can keep your phone up and away from you, and you don't have to touch it. You can still see it without really taking your eyes off the road. And having a phone always makes you safe. If anything happens or if there's any emergencies, you can make a phone call for an emergency purpose, or if you break down or anything, obviously you can call a tow truck or someone to come help you out. And passenger use. Mobile phones, they're just very convenient for long drives. If you are not the driver, then it's very nice to have a cell phone. You could do anything on research, study, anything really on any mobile phone. It comes down to really, all in all, is driver's responsibility. I got here, be safe, drive smart, because if everyone is responsible and use these apps responsibly, then these problems wouldn't happen. But unfortunately, technology has risen so much that it's really just taken over, so to speak, and We just really need to get some sort of handle on it. And gotta say, teamwork makes the dream work. The corporations such as Apple or phone developers, mobile developers, vehicle developers such as Chrysler, and drivers themselves, everybody just needs to work together to make the safest methods possible and make technology on the road something we should be proud of rather than fear. Thank you.